So tell me your name real quick, man.
Jameson Thomas.
And you're 19 years old?
Yeah.
And what school are you currently going to right now?
U of A, Fayetteville.
Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say go Razorbacks.
I'll go Razorbacks. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
So tell me, well, when I ask you the question, like,
how's your relationship with God doing?
Yeah. Tell me, what was your response, and tell me why?
I don't know. Grew up in a really Christian home, as you can tell.
Okay.
Kind of had a lot of things like my identity and existentialism and all that.
Okay, existentialism.
Yeah.
Tell me what that means, what that looks like.
Sort of, I guess at a certain point you start to question, like, okay, why are we actually here? Like sort of.
Are you atheist?
I wouldn't really say that right now, but I guess from a Christian point of view, leaning towards that. I'm more just like, oh, he could exist.
He could exist.
Just, I'm not in a position to know myself,
Okay.
Which I guess is really, from a Christian point of view, the whole idea of faith. From what I came to understand, I didn't feel like the God that I was preached existed.
Sure.
And so from there, I was just like, well, it's sort of like one of these sort of like improvable things, improvable, sort of.
Okay, you can't necessarily prove he exists.
Yeah, like you can. Well, I mean, you can't really prove anything technically, but you can have leading evidence and stuff.
Sure.
And so I kind of felt like there wasn't enough on either side for me to really know.
You can't prove he exists. Can you prove that he doesn't exist?
I mean, not really, no.
Okay. Yeah. So, for instance, if I say, hey, here's a painting on the wall, right? How would you defend this? Here's a painting on the wall. Even though we don't see the painter, we know that the painter exists because it's a painting, right? Or we see a building, we know that the builder exists even though we don't see the builder. And if you see creation, there must be a creator. Of course, that makes sense. So I can't just walk past this world or walk past a dog, a fish, or trees or the sun and say, man, I don't think anything created that. Of course, you don't believe that the inscientific possibility that nothing created everything. What would you say? What would you think?
That makes sense.
Makes sense?
I guess at a certain point, I started looking at, people's actions,
Oh!
Because I sort of viewed, I was like, okay, well, Christianity is real, then Christians, they'd be reflective of those actions. And there's still some great Christians I know, like some of the people I look up to the most are Christians.
Okay.
But there's a large, overwhelming, I don't want to say overwhelming, there's a lot of people out there who don't reflect that, and a lot of people who are, atheists or typically, from a Christian standpoint of view, sinners.
So it kind of conflicts you in a way.
It conflicts me, yeah. I used to go to this church. I'm not going to call it out.
Don't call it out. Yeah, don't call it out.
There's a lot of not great people there, and it's like from the front they seem like very, I don't know, like, what's the word for that? Very holy people. I think maybe it's more of just a human thing. Maybe.
Okay. We have to look at the world and we have to explain it some kind of way. And normally, men answer 4 questions at some point in their life. The first question to answer is, how did the world come into existence? Is, what do you think your purpose is in life? Right?
Purpose. Okay.
So, origin.
Purpose.
Purpose. And then, why do you think the world is so messed up? And then, what do you think the fix is to a messed up world? So, origin, purpose, messed up world, fix.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
How would you answer those?
Origin, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I've seen evolution, that doesn't look right to me. I've seen creation, that might look right, but then it's like who at that point, and I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, purpose. From where I'm at right now, I'm sort of thinking, I'm like, maybe we don't have a purpose, and it's just maybe we come up with our own,
We come up with our own purpose?
Yeah, like maybe we're just kind of like here, and it's just like, well, you're here, you might as well make something out of it, you know?
Yep.
And then, I'm trying, sorry, what were the other things?
Why do you think the world is just so messed up?
Why is the world messed up? Okay. I think that's, I don't know, humans are intrinsically flawed, and humans, we have a big thing to look out for ourselves, and sometimes that is in spite of other people,
Sure.
And it's, I don't know, ultimately, I feel like people don't oftentimes do bad things just to do bad things. There's a reason behind it.
There's a reason behind it?
Yeah.
Any reason you think they do that bad things, or?
No, just, they could be, Porsche, they rob a store. They could be, I don't know, angry at someone, so they kill them, or Oh, fix. Honestly, I think it's just among ourselves. There's a lot of people out there, I think, who they're sort of looking for some, like magic pill that's like, oh, this is going to be the great fix. I don't think that exists. I think it's more like we're constantly looking for other people to help solve our problems when they could just be like, it's in us, if you want to change the world, you got to also do it yourself,
Yeah.
Not like, I myself, but I can just do the best I can with what I have. And then, I don't know.
Man, I really do appreciate you being willing to share that. Let me give you the last few seconds, and I'm going to break down the 3 circles to you, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to answer those 4 questions from a biblical perspective. And I'm not trying to force anything on you, man.
No, it's okay.
At some point, just think through these and see if it just makes sense. Even if you don't necessarily believe it, just see if it makes sense. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah.
So the 3 circles is basically, it's the first circle represents how God designed the world.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve did what?
Ate from the apple, sin, tempted by Satan, kicked out. Yeah.
And so that explains why men are defective, because Adam and Eve started something we all continue. What letter is in the middle of sin?
I.
So when I do what I want to do instead of what God wants me to do, that's sin. That's God has an original design, and it was perfect, and they went away from the design.
They put on like all the leaves and things, and then they went and they hid away.
Yeah.
And then he was, even though he knew where they were, I think he was like asking where they were.
He asked the question. Yeah, man, you got it. He was trying to get Adam to confess his sin, but Adam just kept on blame shifting. He basically says, that woman you gave me, right? That woman you gave me. He said he blamed everybody else but who?
Everyone but God, or everyone but himself. Sorry.
Everyone but himself, right? Yeah. And then it had a prediction that he will ultimately send Jesus to step on the head of the serpent. I don't know if you realize that interpretation. So this is why the world is broken. The fix to a broken world is when the Bible says 2,000 years ago, God sent his son Jesus, right? So let me give you the good person test real quick.
Yeah.
And Jameson, I'm not judging you, man.
No. Just...
So how many lies have you told in your life?
How many? I'm sorry?
How many lies have you told in your whole life?
Oh gosh, I can't even. I don't know.
I can't keep up mine either.
Yeah.
Have you ever stolen anything, even if it's small?
Probably a few things.
A few things, all right? Jesus said if you look at someone with lust, you commit adultery in his heart. Have you ever looked at someone with lust?
Yeah.
All right, we cousins.
Yeah.
Have you ever used God's name in vain?
Yeah.
All right. So, James, I'm not judging you, but you just admitted that you're a liar, a thief, adulterer, right? And a blasphemer. If God exists, James, if he exists and this is all true, you'll have to stand before that God. All right, do you think on that day of judgment you'll be innocent or guilty?
Be guilty.
All right, so what do you think, if God exists, what do you think he should do to you on the day of judgment?
There's nothing I can do at that point.
All right.
Stuck.
It's hell, right?
Yeah.
So here's what the fix is. The fix is God sends his son. We broke the law. Jesus came and paid the fine. That's what he basically did on the cross. Gave us a solution to the broken world. If men would do what, love your neighbor as you love yourself, man, don't you think that would change the whole entire world?
Yeah.
All right. So what's man's purpose? That last question is, what's man's purpose? Man's purpose is to do what I'm doing to you, right? And our purpose is to ultimately glorify God with our life. Have you ever painted anything or sculpted anything?
Yeah, I painted stuff.
All right. Why did you paint that?
Just because I cared for them,
For them, right?
That'd be nice.
When let's say that painting jumped off the page and started walking around, and it started taking credit for what you did in it. How would you feel if it started taking the credit and it never turned around and said, Jameson, thank you for making me like this? How would you feel?
I'd probably be a little disappointed.
Disappointed?
Yeah.
The painting was made to give you glory, not take glory for himself.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So you only get what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Man, God made you for a purpose. Every time people look at you, you're handsome, you're smart. And well, your purpose is to use what God has given you to make God shine, to give God glory. Man, look at you and they come to you and they say, Jameson, you're smart, man. I want to worship you. No. He's the one that made me, right? So that's the fix. That's the 4 questions answered. Even if you don't believe it, we talked about origin, purpose, give God glory.
Yeah.
And why is the world messed up? Man sinned, went against God's original plan. And what's the fix?
Ask God for forgiveness.
Yeah, man, and Jesus is the fix, man. And when you do that, man, Jesus comes in and fixes what's broken. He takes broken pieces and he makes masterpieces. That's the whole story of the Bible.
Okay.
All right? All right, tell me what you're thinking. Even if you don't believe it, tell me what you're thinking.
It's pretty nice. It sounds appealing. Not gonna lie. I don't know. I guess I've overanalyzed it so many different ways. I don't know.